Hi, this is Keith Furrow. Today we're going to talk a little bit about RESPA, which is the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. It's been around for over 30 years, and it's a process that basically requires some uniformity in a closing, so that basically the system is set up to where certain forms and certain procedures must occur. And it has a lot to do with disclosing affiliated businesses, requiring business partners for companies. Is the title company related to the attorney, or related to the insurance company, or do they also have a survey company? And how do all of those work so that the consumer it's sure that the consumer is not being taken advantage of? Now, many of those procedures or those rules in RESPA have never even been implemented. Now, we have some new things that have happened based on the Frank Dodd Act and some rules and some things that have changed in the last year or two, and some of those will come into play on January 10th, 2014. So we're going to have some changes. Now, they have to do with Reg Z and Reg X. Now, Reg Z is basically about what we've been talking about, the universal policies and procedures, and making sure that there's a uniform system across the country. It's easier to audit, it's easier to make sure that the consumers are taken care of, and that all the title companies, attorneys, fall under certain guidelines and follow the same rules. Now, the other regulation, Regulation X, has to do with some other things, and it has to do with planning when you take a loan application. They have to give you a certain estimate of what those closing costs will be, what your interest rate will be, and all of these costs. Now, based on that, if a percentage changes much more than a small percentage, then the lender has to eat that cost. So, lenders tend to, the downside of this process is what the lenders are doing now is they're way overestimating these costs, and then in reality it's much lower, which I don't know that really helps the consumer, because the intention was to help the consumer know exactly the amount of cost and what it was going to be. I believe the intentions were good. I don't know that the process is worked out well. Now, the next question becomes, who can do a closing? Would it be an attorney? Would it be a title company? Who can close it? Well, in reality, many people can do it. You can have an attorney do the closing. You can have a title company, which usually has an attorney on staff. You can have a buyer and seller can do it themselves and record it themselves. They can fill out their own deeds. The real estate company, the realtor that you work with, can do it. You can have a friend with a notary do it. I don't recommend most of those things. I recommend working with a title company or an attorney to work the process, because you want to make sure that the payoffs are correct, the paperwork that's being used is correct, there's no confusion as far as the payoff timing, is the property clear, if you run into problems on the survey, who can interpret that for you. And again, in most cases, I recommend that you have a realtor professional like those of us at Keith Furrow Associates, where we go through that with you and help you, and we have relationships. But like I say, attorney or title companies can do the closing for you based on your cost and what's best for you in your particular situation. If you have, you may have to look back and what about, has there been quick claims filed? Were the proper people married? That signed the documents? All these different things. Now, again, if you have title insurance and you purchase that and close yourself, you could probably, if you had the education, hedge 99% of these problems. But I've been in this business over 30 years, and I would never close without title insurance, nor would ever close without professionals to help me through the process. And that's with my experience. It's still, nobody's an expert at every detail, and you really need the right people. Something to consider. And again, you have a lot of flexibility and choice. The best thing to do is to hire the right professional, have them counsel you, and cost and what you get for the cost is what it all comes down to. Keith Furrow, Keith Furrow Associates. Have a great day.